Also available on Indiegogo is Forbidden. Get your copy today. Okay, artists, time to get your pencil on. Show us your rendition of Forbidden and be featured in the book today.
Mail call! Mail? Hey, I wonder what could it be? The only way to find out is to open and see. Could it be Monday? Oh, maybe not. The only way to know is to watch what's in the box.
Hey there, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Yeah, you right there, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman, look at me. Is there a package just waiting for me? Where's my box? Where's my box? What's in the box?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of What's in the Box. I am your host, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. And before we begin with social studies, I'd like to remind you that this is the last week of my campaign for Forbidden. It's a comic book that I created in 2000, and I am bringing it back into the game. It's been a long time since I've been in the game, and I'm excited about this project. You can see on the screen, I'm playing. You got before and after colors. I have a great colorist that's doing the entire series, which is over 138 pages. Fantastic interior art by multiple artists, from Anibal Lavoyo to Primi Santra. Cover artists from myself to Anibal to Eric Ifata, David Quiles, and potentially some more, for the future issues of Forbidden. So while I'm excited because, we made our goal, we've exceeded our goal, we haven't broke the first stretch goal. We're $231 away from that first stretch goal. And if you're watching this, I hope that you pledge and support my book. I'm new to Indiegogo. I'm new to this game. It's been such a long time. The game that I played years ago is different from the way it plays now. So I'm excited that about 17 or so backers of the Indiegogo campaign are people I don't know, which is even more exciting. So that's pretty dope as well. So I'm hoping that you all who pledged, thank you so much, that you stick around for the second installment of Forbidden. So hit the link, it's in the summary, and make your pledge today. And if you made your pledge today, give me a thumbs up so that I know that you are embracing my fantasy series. I'm excited about it. I'm sure that you will be too when you read that first installment. So with that said, and without further ado, I'd like to talk about social studies. And we had Adam Cagnon on Catch the Craze podcast. And that episode is coming up pretty soon. And because we had him on the show, I liked his book, Social Studies. I decided that I wanted to feature it. So, and he was kind enough to give me the PDF version to be able to read before our interview. So I wanted to feature it. So what I liked about Social Studies, before I even turn the pages, number one, the colors and the art. When you look at Social Studies, it reminds you of, at least it reminds me of, like Garfield type art, right? And that in itself gave me that iconic retro style of art that's fun, easy, but there's even more to it, because when I turn the pages, you're going to see what the artist has done with manipulating his art style, almost as if the way a camera works, where you have foreground, background, and it's almost like faded out, the way like you take those portrait photos on iPhone, on your digital cameras, and you put it on a portrait setting, and it slightly blurs out the background, giving that foreground a pop. And he does that really well in this. So if you're a teenager, watching it now, you're going to relate to this. For those of us who are past that time, you're going to remember a lot of things, especially going to high school for the first time. So here, you turn to the page, you have all his social handling. So you got on Twitter, it's called Social Studies CB on Twitter. On Facebook, it's Social Studies Comic. On Snapchat, it's Social Studies CB. I guess CB means comic book. On Instagram, it's Social Studies Comic. his link to the website is socialstudiescomic.com. And the email is socialstudycomic@gmail.com. Copyright Wally Hawk Comics, all rights reserved. So here it is. Here's that opening sequence. This is where I told you about, the playing on the camera shot. So the main character going to high school, Empire High School, and you can see that his color is vibrant. Everything else is faded in the background. I really dig this art style. And then you have that jerk, right? Move It, Freshies. I remember that. I don't know if you ever remember that, but I remember when I went to high school, Lee patches. Remember Lee jeans? Not Levi's, Lee's. Lee patches were the thing. And people would rip off your Lee patch because they wanted your Lee patches. And so I remember my mom bought me Lee's, and I cringed at the fact of having to go to high school wearing these Lee's. So I remember ripping them off myself. I said, there's no one going to steal it. And when I got to school, and then when I went home, sewed it back on. So if I wore it at family functions, it was fine. But going to school, I was like, you're not taking it from me. So I just made sure it was not available. No snatch and grabs on my watch. No snatch and grabs. So, so here's that feeling going to high school, and you get that jerk, hey, Move It, Freshies. I remember those guys all the time. And then here's, he recognizes a friend. Obviously, something's going on with his friend he doesn't know, and you don't find out in this episode. I call it episode. You don't find out in this issue what's going on with this friend. I guess his name is Bruce, and the other kid is named Len. But again, the art style, the way of coloring, it looks like markers and wash. Really cool. And then it pops off, right? So now all the other kids start, meeting up. And it goes back to those anxiety times when you're young, right? You're smitten by girls, you're bullied by others, you hang out with jerks, you're trying to fit in, you really don't, you're really trying to find your way. And that's what I loved about this. It just brought back all those emotions. And then this one character. Sorry, I have to disconnect my Bluetooth from my device because all of the Kickstarters are being delivered. So far, 10 in one day have been delivered for the Cast of Crazies. My bad. So, and that was a USPS alerted me that another package was delivered. So I like the way this cat is. This character is drawn, and I'll remember his name in a second. They intentionally removed a line. So if you look at the character with the purple hat, and I'll remember his name in a second, a line was omitted. So you see the eyeballs, the face, but then the side where the ears are gone. And I thought that was pretty unique. That was a pretty unique approach to it. And when I asked that question on the show, and you have to go and watch the show, it's a really good interview. There's a reason for it. But I'm not going to tell you until you watch the show. So anyway, they're talking about school and what to do after school, and and then you have the jerks, when they're smacking each other around, and it's what boys do. I never understood why boys act up when girls are around, and they mess on their friends when girls are around. Just never understood that. But that's what happens, and that's what that reminded me of. So they're chasing each other in the hallway, and then there's the bully, right? And here's this bully and his knucklehead friends, and he's picking on the newbie, and obviously his friend that has a problem that we don't know about is with this jerk. So again, I guess you have to find out when you get the next issue. So he pushes him. Same old thing. Because of that, he's bullying him. He's late to class. We can all relate. I remember being late to science class because of a similar situation, but it was actually my friends being picked on, and I was there to support my friends. And I loved science because there was this girl named Bernadette I was in love with. Bernadette, oh, she was gorgeous. And I remember being embarrassed by the teacher because I was late that time. But anyway, and everyone's snickering in class. So, yeah, they're talking about going out, hanging out. The girls want to go to Victoria's Secret. The guys are gonna go. Blah blah blah. Again, the art style is pretty funny, pretty cool, and again, it's just kids acting up and being kids. So here we go. They're walking away. They see the newbie being picked on again, so they decide to come to his aid. Hello, hello. That LOLO reminds me of Zaymont and Tomax, the evil twin brothers. Or was it? No. It was actually the Dreadnoks. Hello, hello, hello. Adios, adios, adios from G.I. Joe the movie. Anyway, so they show up. They save him from the jerk. The girl says, "Aren't you the one who peed on yourself multiple years in a row?" So he's embarrassed. Everyone's laughing at him. He's like, "I'll get you guys back." Whatever. They go to the mall. And apparently there's this thing about the winner circle and the degenerates. And and he's trying to find out why you're being called the degenerates. And you can see in this scene right here, his friend is with the jerk. And I'm trying to understand what's going on. Is he being bullied by? Why does he have to hang out with this dude? Is it his brother? I don't know. So anyway, they go off to the mall. They're being kids. The girl's at Victoria's Secret. And then this little kid is flirting with the girl. And he's like, "Hey, let's go to the back seat of my mom's Chevy." And she's like, she's trying to get him away from her because he's annoying. And now the mother thinks that she's hitting on her son. So the mother gets into a tirade. And again, rather than asking questions, this is what happens. And this is what the media is doing now, right? They go on the first soundbite and they react, and it's only half the truth, and they don't do their research, and that's why the media has lost so much credibility. This is what happens here. So she's, rather than wondering why her son walked into Victoria's Secret looking at this girl, she's calling this, the girl a tramp. She's flirting with her. She's causing a scene. They're walking away. The girl wants to whoop the mom's butt, but her friend's like, "No, let's go." So, again, very fun. The artwork, the style, while it's simple, it's impactful. Like, it tells the story very well. So he's trying to find out what does degen mean. And he's like, don't start. I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, "Look into my eye." He's like, "Oh, what does that mean?" He's like hypnotizing him. Then the other guy's like, "Hey, it means degenerates. Not everyone loves our unique brand of charm." The other guy wants tacos. He wants to eat. Now, do you remember that? Okay, so he's smitten. He's looking at this girl across the way at Raspberries, CDs, and movies. And that reminded me when I was in high school. I was working as a security guard at the airport around that time. Anyway, I was working as a security guard at the airport, and there was a airport bus that would always circle and pick up passengers, take them from, departure gate to departure gate. And there was this girl on the bus. She worked for the airport on that bus, and I was smitten by her. Oh my God. But there was no way for me to talk to her because she was always on the bus and I was always on post at the first gate. And that's when you used to have to show your boarding pass before you enter the terminal. I even had my friends come to the airport to get on the bus to try to get her. He came with his girlfriend, my friend Raymond, came with his girlfriend, and they rode around for 4 hours and she was never on the bus. When they decided to go home is when she showed up on the bus. It was almost like a fantasy. Anyway, so that's what reminded me. So he's smitten. He sees his girl across the way. I can relate. And she sees him, and he's being made fun of by his friends. Whatever. So now they're looking over. They see the bully. He's like, "Yo, I'm going to drop my drink on him." Damn. And he does. He doesn't know if he's with his mom or his girlfriend. He doesn't know who the woman is or the girl he's with. And he splashes him. He comes up. And then the security guard at the mall's like, "Yo, didn't I kick you out already?" And so This is the part I don't understand with kids and teenagers. You know, the guy's working for a living, and now he's making fun of him. He's like, you know, is that all you can do? Is, you know, minimum wage, being a security guard, busting high schoolers, and you want to like demonize or, you know, or humiliate somebody because they're working to make ends meet. But it reminded me of those kids, and that still exists today. So anyway, so they run off, and the guard is out of shape. Obviously, he can't catch up. So he's like, "You're one of us now. Don't worry about the bully. I've been around the block. I've seen those guys before." He's like, "Aren't you worried about him?" He's like, "Nope." And that's how it ends. So it's Vicky, Turner, Roy, Len, Iris, and Wesley. And they have several other issues, so check out Social Studies and grab every issue of Chapter 1. They call it chapters. And very well done. I love this original concept art that they did years ago, 1999, 2001. And it says, here's a look at the first ever long-form social studies comics. At the time, we just called it Len, Turner, and Roy, after the leads. Story ideas were discussed by our 14 and 15-year-old selves. They were 14 years old when they created this. But Mike ran free form and created something to share with our friends. We'd pass the notebooks around so everyone could keep up with the story. Who says it was? We've come a long way. And so they have. So give social studies a shot. It's fun. It's relatable. It. I swear to you, it took me back, and it reminded me of high school. And then the question surfaces: would I do it again? And I'm like, you know, I don't know. But Social Studies is a fun book. You guys did a good job, Michael Virgilio and Adam Cagnon. And it's Wally Hawk Comics, and it's socialstudies.com. This was another episode of What's in the Box. Again, you've seen it playing on the left-hand side of the screen. Forbidden might be right on your side. Only a few days left. We love to get to that next stretch level and open up, unlock that box. Support Forbidden. It's a great story. You won't be disappointed. Great artists. Multiple covers, amazing incentives. I appreciate you. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. If you pledged today, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you pledged. You know, put it in the notes. I appreciate you. And thanks again for watching. And if you want to be featured on What's in the Box, all you have to do is hit me up, and we'll get you going. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
What's in the box?